What's happening, people? We're back in the house, back with another show for a Premier League preview of a big weekend that's going to be, well, kind of decisive on who sits top of the tree at Christmas. Excuse the pun. It's going to be a great weekend and one that all of us will be looking forward to. So I brought some guests on with me. Billy back in the house. How you doing, Bill?
I'm very good, thank you, mate. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Looking forward to Crimbo now. I'm just trying to get everything ready, lastminute.com as always. But I'm all good, bro. I'm all good, and I'm hoping this weekend will put a smile on my face. But we'll see what happens. Lil Dan is back. It's been a while, my bro. Every time we do a show, you're normally on Wolves Fancast, mate. So how are you, mate?
Yeah, it's all good. There's no coincidence that Wolves' bad run hasn't coincided with me not turning up on shows, but I'm all good apart from that.
Yeah, man. Good to see you, man. Always good to see your face, and I always like it when you and Billy are on because it's always heated and lit. So that's always fun. Big up Roms in the house, man. Errol normally reps on this channel, but it's good to see your face, mate, regularly on this show from now on, man. How are you, Roms?
Now, big up. Thanks for having me. Big up, Billy. Big up, Dan. Nice meeting you. Big up, Errol as well. Errol's my good friend as well. But no, happy to be back on the panel and like you, hopefully, leave this weekend with a smile on my face, man. Some big games to speak about.
Yeah, 100% there is, man. And we're talking of big people and big faces. We've just one walked in the house. Goonie, what are you telling me, bruv? You good?
What's going on? What's going on? Apologies for the lateness, man. But I'm here now. I'm here now.
Nah, it's calm, man. I hope you're all good, man. Set for Crimbo, bruv?
Yeah, everything's set for Christmas, bruv. Looking forward to it. You get me? Well, it's more for the kids now, innit? It's not really for us no more.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm a big kid at Christmas. I can't lie. It's my favourite time of the year. So I'm gonna try and celebrate it until I'm old. Listen, let's talk about this weekend. Got to start with you, Roms, because this is a big game. I know you say you've been on your Gal's channel. I'm sure Gal said he's going to wipe the floor if he's about 5 or 6-0. So let's now talk real football. This is going to be a real cagey one as far as I'm concerned. I don't see this being like a 4-3 or like some people are saying. I really feel like both teams are going to be very, very nervous to lose this game because I think it means quite a lot. But I've got to ask you, Roms, how you're feeling being at Anfield after, let's be real, 2 games that have been a little bit up in the air. Obviously, West Ham, you absolutely battered them, but West Ham were an embarrassment as far as I'm concerned to try and put that team out there and just roll over. But Man United game is stuck in my mind. I watched it in the pub. I watched it after Arsenal-Brighton, and I thought, wow, Liverpool battering them 34 shots to come away with a 0-0. That's just disappointing. And I didn't think Liverpool were great on the night. So how do you feel going into this one at the weekend, bro?
Well, I'm always confident at Anfield against anyone, to be fair. But there's 2 words that have kind of transpired this week. Is Klopp scared of Arsenal? I don't think he's scared. I think the word's respect. And I think if you're a level-headed Liverpool fan, I think we would now respect Arsenal because I do believe you're better than you are last year. But back to the United game, I have to get rid of this notion that it's just that we were poor. Football, the team that always dominates the ball and has more possession, it doesn't naturally mean you're the better team. The reason why we love the game is because different teams have different game plans and different systems that they implement. And if they get a result by it, therefore, in my opinion, they were the better team. It might not be as aesthetically pleasing, but we just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net against United. However, Arsenal won't set up like that. And I think we may not have as many shots, but I think there'll be more clear-cut chances because we didn't have any clear-cut chances against United. It was mainly set-piece headers, Kanate, Van Dijk, etc. Now, moving into midweek against West Ham, I agree with you. They rested players, but so did we. We had Trent not starting, Alisson not starting, Kanate not starting, Salah not starting. And I was at the game, and you can tell we had a point to prove. We had a chip on our shoulder. We needed to get back to winning ways. Potential final at Wembley, 3 days, 3 games away. But Klopp also made a comment on the atmosphere, right? And I want to actually put this to bed because I was in the stand that he was criticizing, and me and a few of my friends, we were trying to sing, and people were looking at us like we were crazy. Now, the Klopp end and the Anfield Road end were singing. I'm going to let that be right. I don't know if you can hear on TV or whatnot, but Klopp was angry because there was a specific chance that Elliott's just hit it wide, and our stand was quite flat, and he kind of turned around to us, like trying to rev us up. But that game, the atmosphere wasn't as bad as he said. But for me, it's mind games what he's doing with this game, because in the last 2 fixtures between Liverpool and Arsenal at Anfield, 2 events have been catalysts into us getting a result from the game. Last season was Xhaka's tackle on Trent, Anfield got set alight. The year before that, Arteta and Klopp bust up on the sideline. We then go on to win the game 4-0. So I feel like it's more mind games. He just wants to rev us up because he respects Arsenal. You're top of the table for a reason, and we need to get the fan going because it's not a myth. We do have 12th man in a lot of our big games. So I think that will be key. But in terms of Arsenal coming to us, we respect you, man. And any fan that's saying, I've seen some Liverpool fans saying they think it's going to be a comfortable win, it won't. Like, you will get into the predictions a bit later. But for me, like you said, Dan, it'll be a very tight game. First and second for a reason. Both been defensively good this season. I think conceded the least amount of goals. That metric might have changed, but both conceded the least amount of goals. And I just feel this is going to be cagier than people think. It may turn into a gun-ho basketball-esque game, but I think the vast majority, let's say first half, I think both teams will show more respect than the neutrals think. Because I think there's that stat that it's the highest goal-scoring fixture in the Premier League era, but different seasons, different playing styles, it might not be as gung-ho as people think. But yeah, I respect you lot a lot. I respect you lot a lot this season.
Listen, I respect Liverpool and always have. I've had to for the last 5 years. I'm actually with Johan. Before I come to the boys, let me stick with you, Roms, just quickly, because the midfield battle for me is going to be key, right? We've got Rice, Ødegaard, and Havertz. Now, Rice has been class all season. Ødegaard's been, to be fair, pretty meaty until the last few games. He's now starting to come back into it. Kai Havertz has been less than meaty for most of the season until the last month, where he's decided to prop up with some goals now. Who are you going to play? Because I imagine you've got like question marks over Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott because they've both been on fire, to be fair, of late. And I'm not really sure what your midfield is going to look like, bro.
Do you want what I would play or what Klopp's going to play?
Go with both. Go with what you would do and then what you think it will be.
What I would do, personally, again, I've got utmost respect for Rice, Ødegaard, Havertz, whatnot, but I'm playing Trent in midfield and putting Joe Gomez at right back because Martinelli gives Trent nightmares time and time again. Joe Gomez has been very good this season. He's kind of an unsung hero. He's actually, and I have to hold my hands up. I thought Joe Gomez was done, but he's had a little reignition in his career because whenever he's been asked upon and called upon in that right back role, he's been very well. We've seen Trent of recent against Man City, against Fulham, kind of running games, getting results by himself, albeit a draw or a win. He's been running games from the midfield. So my midfield three will be Szoboszlai, Jones, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. The midfield three that will most likely play is Endo, Jones, and Szoboszlai, and he's going to put Trent at right back. But I just feel I take the lows with Trent because of the highs he brings. We know he's not defensively the best. We know he has deficiencies going the other way. But I think what he can give you in that midfield area, and I'm not speaking inverted, I mean starting him in this specific game, I just think he could be a potential game winner for us, especially in this game against Arsenal. And David Raya, one thing I've realized about him, I rate him as a keeper, but he doesn't fare well with long shots. His shot stopping ability is normally when it's more closer range. And Trent and Szoboszlai that do shoot from range. You saw Szoboszlai midweek score a fantastic goal from range. I think most of his goals this season come from outside the box. I feel like them two in the midfield could be key for us, but Klopp won't go with that. He will start Jones because Jones is coming to a bit of form. He actually started the season well in that 8 kind of 6 role, but I can see him starting Jones there. But I think the midfield battle will be key. If I'm being honest, your midfield at this moment in time is better than ours. You have to call a spade a spade. So I think whatever midfield three you put in there, it's going to be quite difficult. But that's the midfield three I would start with.
Interesting, man. Goonie, how do you see this one going on Liverpool, Arsenal at Anfield?
First of all, I've noticed you've got the struggle hairlines at the bottom of the screen. But big up Dan. You get me, my fellow Waves gang. So I say, I always have to say something.
We're shining, brother. We're shining.
Yeah, trust me, Dan. I always have to say something off the wall before I start talking. But anyway, now that I've got that off my chest, yeah. Arsenal, Liverpool, man. Bruv. It's a difficult one to call because, like, as much as I dislike your club, Dan, I have to respect it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you guys are this form doesn't seem to be going away. You're playing good football. Liverpool, with Liverpool, this is the thing. It's like, I think there's still elements in their team that they're missing, but they're always going to be dangerous. They're all going to be dangerous. And I think the game midweek, because I did manage to catch the EFL quarterfinal, and Yeah, I was watching Roms. Don't get too happy. I was hoping you lot would lose, but you done the opposite. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. But Liverpool, obviously, they didn't get a win in their last Prem game. They really should have, and I think that might be at the back of their minds because Manchester City obviously are not where we're used to them being, although it's still very early to write them off. But I don't know. I cannot call this game for the sake. I just can't call this game, bruv. I could see either team winning and I wouldn't be surprised. I could see a draw happening and I wouldn't be surprised. It's just one of those games now. But the good thing is, I guess, for Arsenal is that, going back 2 seasons ago, I would have definitely said hand on heart, Liverpool are smoking you. But I can't even say that now. So that must show improvement for you guys.
Yeah, I think away from home, Declan Rice, along with Gabriel and Saliba, that trio has allowed us to be a lot more convincing away from home than we have been of late. Having said that, we have lost both of our games away from home, 1-0 at St James's Park and at Villa Park. So it's not like we're going into Anfield knowing that we're amazing away from home. I just don't know with games like this. I hate going there. It's the ground I can't stand. I'd prefer going to Etihad, Old Trafford. I prefer the North London derby away. I hate going to Anfield, man. The last time we won there was 2012 when Cazorla and Podolski were playing. That's how tough it's been for us going back to Anfield over the last few years. But I do go in there fairly confident, knowing that I don't think we will get battered and have to hold 4s and 5s like I've seen us up to recently, to be fair. It's only been the last couple of seasons. Billy, where do you see this one, man? And what result do you want as a Villa fan? Would be interesting.
As a Villa fan, I want a draw. I'm feeling quite confident that we're going to get the win tonight, which would see us top for tonight at least. And then obviously, if you guys draw tomorrow, then we're top for Christmas. So obviously, that's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, I'm just going to repeat really what Roms has said. I think it's going to be a very cagey game. It's going to be very tight, and I think the penny could drop either way. It's a game that I'm really looking forward to at the minute. Like I say, only if we win tonight, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, it's one of them that I can just see going either way. Liverpool, Anfield, it is what it is. The raucous atmosphere. I know Klopp's mentioned it, but I do agree with you, Roms. It's probably a little bit of mind games there from Klopp.
Yeah.
But if Arsenal turn up, maybe grab an early goal, quieten you down a little bit, then I think we could see a very different game. And yeah, it's one of them that's, in my opinion, is kind of impossible to call. Like I say, I can kind of see it go either way. But as a Villa fan, a draw either way, win, lose or draw tonight. I hope it's a draw tomorrow, just so we're still there with you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, man. Listen, Lil Dan, let me bring you in lastly on this fixture before we do some predictions. Like, for me, last season, this was where it went wrong for Arsenal. We were 2-0 up, we were cruising. And a lot of people will start to talk about the Xhaka and Trent incident and say that was why that we lost this game. End up drawing this game. I actually disagree with that. I think it was poor in-game management, and I think Arsenal lost their heads and then went on to bottle the league. So I think when you look at what we were doing in that game, 2-0, we had no excuses but to take 3 points, and we still couldn't do it. But if you look at this fixture now, Dan, who is it bigger for? Because if Liverpool win and Arsenal win, does it change anything for either side? And what I mean by that is if Arsenal come away from Anfield with 3 points, do people look at Arsenal and go, wow? Or if Liverpool beat Arsenal, do people look at Liverpool and go, okay, they now look like they can go and win this league? Do you see where I'm getting at?
I think resilience and mentality is a big thing with this game on. Is it Sunday? You got now
Saturday night.
Saturday night. Yeah. It's massive for Arsenal more than Liverpool. This game, I think if Arsenal can come away with just a point, the momentum and the belief that will give you guys heading towards the back part of the season will be huge. Like you said, the defeat there last season was huge, followed by the draw at West Ham. Obviously, you'd hope you'll have learned from the lesson from last season with the in-game management. Obviously, Xhaka's left now, brought some good players like Declan Rice in to give you a bit more strength in the spine. I think it's Liverpool's to sort of, like Rom said, Liverpool at Anfield. I wouldn't back against Liverpool. I'll bet my kids' presents that Liverpool win on Saturday night. I've got no kids. Liverpool at Anfield. I think the fact that they didn't get the win against Man United last week is going to rev them up even more to get a win on Saturday night. It's going to be tough for Arsenal, but it's just whoever's attacking players are more clinical on the day. I still think there's going to be a week where Darwin Núñez does some absolute madness because he's absolute chaos. He could, he can go like 10 games without scoring, flipping 0, and then he can get like 4 in one game. He's absolute chaos. Salah's still probably like one of the best strikers in the Premier League that we've got at the moment, and I think it's Liverpool's to lose on Saturday because being at home to Anfield, obviously, like you said, with Klopp's mind games, trying to get the fans on side, it's going to be tough for Arsenal. But it showed last season. Before you know it, Arsenal could be 2-0 up, and Liverpool are chasing shadows. It's a title race game on Saturday. It's still too early to be called a title race, but Villa on top of the league, so it's, as far as I'm concerned, they're in a title race now.
Well, listen, let's come into that in a minute. I think this is huge. I did text Errol yesterday and said, if any game Darwin Núñez is going to score, it's going to be this one. He is chaos, and I've always bigged him up, to be fair. I actually don't mind the player, and he's put me in the mud a bit of late because he's been missing sitters. However, I do think that if there's any game for him to turn up, it would be this one. Dan, start with you and go back round. What are you going with prediction-wise, bruv?
I'm going to go with... I hate it because it's an Arsenal channel, ain't it? Everyone in the comment section is an Arsenal fan.
No, you'd be surprised, bro.
Few stragglers, but I'm going with 2-0 Liverpool.
Uni, what about yourself, bro?
Just from a pure haters perspective, I've got to say 2-0 Liverpool as well. I ain't gonna lie.
Dan, I mentioned on yours and League Judges show the other night, Wolves have played the team that have finished second last game of the season 3 out of the last 4 years, and this season we've got Liverpool away again. So Liverpool aren't winning the league again, but they might win on Saturday.
Yeah, man, that's an omen you don't want to be doing.
Does that mean Villa are going to win the league then?
Yeah, because it's fucking bollocks, Bill. It's fucking bollocks. You should be fucking relegated.
I just clocked.
Relegated. The ball went over the line against Sheffield United. The goal line technology didn't work. It's fucking bollocks. Pandemic's killed Wolves, and now Villa are going to win the league. It's fucking bollocks.
I've actually just realised you two are big rivals, isn't it? It's a local derby.
Nah, we ain't rivals. Bill would definitely say we ain't rivals from like a trophy point of view, but just even location-wise, we ain't rivals, and but it's a social media rivalry.
No. It's not a derby, at least. I'd say there's the West Midlands rivalry, but yeah, it's not as big as what I think other people and the media like to kind of big it up to be. In my opinion,
you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it when you look at social media. But yeah, let's get Billy. Let's get your prediction, bro.
I'm gonna have to say clearly from a Villa point of view that it's gonna be a draw. I'm holding out hope that it's gonna be a draw at least. So I'm gonna say 1-1.
Interesting. I'm going to draw as well. I think it'll be 2-2, a repeat fixture from last year. Roms, what you saying, bruv?
I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool. I think it'll be tight, cagey, but we'll do enough. I think you'll see the 12th man yet again, and I think we'll have enough just to pip you lot. So 2-1 Liverpool.
Dan, if you don't use I'm betting my kids' presents on Liverpool winning as a title for the show, you ain't hitting the views.
I've lost out, man. It's there for me, man. It's there for me. Last question on this game. I'll come to Goonie because I know Goonie's real talk, man. I've been seeing that one of the things I absolutely hate, combined 11s, man. If I could put Room 101 back up and put combined 11s into that show and never speak about them again, I would, because it causes so much crazy chat from people. I see Robbie put his 1-11 up and everyone was slating it, saying how has Havertz got ahead of Szoboszlai and why is Salah playing through the middle and Jesus on the left and Saka right? And I'm like, okay, but nobody can actually tell me what was so wild, other than that position, by the way, about the 11. He put Alisson in goal, put Van Dijk at the back, put Trent at the back. He had Zinchenko over Tsimikas, which I think is no crazy shout. At the back, he had Van Dijk and Saliba. Gabriel's been a monster, so I would have tried to debate it as much as I can, but I also appreciate Van Dijk's been class. Rice, Ødegaard and Havertz are in the midfield. Okay, Szoboszlai is the one you're looking at, but you can't really tell me that anyone's getting ahead of Rice. Ødegaard's been cooking the last few games, so if you're doing it on form, then he's in there as well. And then up top, Salah's the only one I'm putting in because Saka and Martinelli ain't really been on form, but Jesus has been really good the last few, and Núñez has not. So I didn't really look at it and go, wow, this is wild, but some people were losing their mind and having kittens about it. So I wanted to ask you, man. Go on, Rob.
Do you know what, bro? That was I hadn't seen Robbie's 11, by the way, until you just said it. That was mine Did you say the front three was Martinelli, Jesus, and Salah?
No, Salah, Jesus, Saka. He put Saka on the left and Salah on the right and Jesus through the middle.
Robbie's 11 was exactly. I don't really do combined 11s, but I was getting artsy for this game. My team's exactly the same as Robbie's, only that I've got Szoboszlai for Havertz. So I've got Szoboszlai, Rice, and Odegaard, and I've actually gone Martinelli, Jesus, and Salah because I didn't really want to shoehorn. Saka's been okay, but I didn't want to put players in different positions. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
The left wing debate's a toss up because Diaz and Martinelli, for me, have had similar seasons. They've not been pulling up trees.
Great. They're both ballers, but they ain't had great seasons, have they?
Great,
you know what I mean? So I didn't think it was wild, man. But I wanted to ask the panel just in case it was me, and I've spoken to Liverpool fans. Obviously, because we're biased, we're going to be fighting for our own players. But is that a crazy 11, Goonie? Like, is that a wild take? I mean, the Havertz thing, fair play, but other than that, I don't think it's wild.
If we're talking current form, then no, it's not really wild. Do you know what I mean? If we're talking currently who's playing at their best right now, and you have to pick between those players, then Szoboszlai for me hasn't really been performing to how he started at Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Now, if he had carried on that form from when he first joined Liverpool till now, then it wouldn't be a debate. But Kai Havertz, let's have it right. The guy's chipped in goals, important goals, last minute goals. He's been scoring. Do you know what I mean? He's been doing his job recently. Whether it continues for the rest of the season remains to be seen. But based off that team, I can't really complain too much. Nah, there's nothing really that's outrageous there for me. I'll be real.
Nah, see, I can tell I'm talking. I mean, Billy will know our WhatsApp group's been going bloody insane with Toes and Lawless like laughing their heads off, and I'm like, hang on a minute, like, was that much of a wild take? Like, I didn't get it. Like, Sam tried sticking up for Havertz, saying that on form Havertz has been better than Szoboszlai over the last few games. But
wait, Dan, did you say Toes and Lawless were laughing together? That's a rarity, isn't it? They would actually agreeing.
Listen, when the thing is though, Roms, right? You put them on a string together, ask them to talk about West Ham and Spurs, and it's crazy. And then when you talk about Arsenal, they both team up. This is the thing. When we're relevant, they hate it. They can't stand. They'll never admit this, but they can't stand Arsenal being top of the league. They'll never say it. They'll never ever admit. Lawless still can't get over the fact that we nicked his captain for a price that he thought they pulled our pants down for, but he's realised now actually he's top quality and it's worked out not so good for him, right? So he will never ever he'll never accept that, man. Listen, the pair of them, they're great against each other. Come up against Arsenal and they'll team up, man. They hate Arsenal, which is fair, man, because I can't stand West Ham or Spurs either. But there we go. Listen, this is going to be a great one, man. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm always nervous going to Anfield. I think personally, to finish on this, if Arsenal win this, like Lil Dan said, bro, that people will start looking at Arsenal and go, oh, okay, this could be the year. Because that is a big statement. It's mentality of we're going to Anfield, we're taking 3 points. We ain't done it since 2012. And it's the only one we haven't done, right? And because we've won at the Etihad and we've beaten Man City before. With Liverpool at Anfield, we haven't done it since 2012. It was 2014 since it was Spurs until last year. I think we went to Old Trafford and it was 2006 back in COVID that we went to, and we went and won there. This is the one we ain't ticked off, man. And the Etihad we ain't ticked off for a while either. So this is the one we've got to go to and try and take 3 points. But having said that, if we do leave with a point, like I was last season, I'm not really crying about it. The position we were in last season disappointed me. But a point at Anfield is never something to be really disappointed about because it's a tough place to go, man. It really is. So we'll see, man. It's going to be big. Tonight's going to be big for you, Billy, as well, man. I think this is a given, isn't it? I mean, Sheffield United are absolutely dreadful. I think it's at your place. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
So this is 3 points tonight, Bill. This is you being top of the league, isn't it, tonight?
But the goal on technology works tonight.
That's the thing. Karma will probably bite us on the arse tonight. It's going to be a banana skin for us. No, I'm feeling scarily confident about tonight. I never normally am confident, and when I am, it normally does come and bite me on the backside. So I'm a little bit scared about how I'm feeling so confident. But yeah, I think we're going to be putting an attacking lineup out because of Kamara's injury. Or Kamara's suspension, sorry. Tielemans is out injured as well. So McGinn's going to be in the middle. I'm expecting Ramsey and Bailey either side of McGinn and Douglas Luiz in the midfield with obviously Watkins and Diaby up front. So I'm expecting an attacking lineup. Let's just go out there and put as many past them as we can. So, it's got to be 3 points for us. Nothing short of 3 points. Top of the table for at least a day. Happy as Larry. And then see what happens tomorrow. But as long as we do our job, that's all I can ask for. So yeah, I'm confident, I'm hopeful that we can get the 3 points, obviously. And yeah, we make it 17 consecutive Premier League wins at home. So yeah.
Are you starting to think the unthinkable, Billy, your fan base? Are you actually starting to think the unthinkable?
I think there's some of us that are. I'm still trying to keep my feet on the ground a bit. Let's just see how we navigate January, for example. You know, we've started to pick up a couple of injuries, Tielemans and Pau Torres, albeit for a couple of weeks. But yeah, starting to get a couple of niggles with how many games that they're playing. But as soon as things start getting back to once a week, I mean, we don't have a game in Europe until March time now. So games once a week. Hopefully we'll go hard in January as well with signings and whatnot. So yeah, come March, April, if we're still around there and in the conversation, then absolutely. But I'm not getting overexcited just yet. I'm trying to keep my feet on the ground.
Does anyone on the panel think that Villa could get to March and be within 6 points of the top?
100%. I talked about momentum earlier. 17 wins on the bench at home. I don't 16, care who you are.
16 if we win tonight.
16, yeah. I mean, I don't care whether you Liverpool, Man United, Man City. That's still good going in the Premier League. They're building momentum. They're still going under the radar. Everyone still thinks it's sort of Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City for the title race. But when you've got that sort of home form and they're picking up away wins, I still haven't seen Villa win an away game this season and look good. Bill, you've seen them more often than me, but
I completely agree.
Been 3-0 up in the first half an hour. I saw bits of the Brentford game and you weren't great during the Brentford game, but Emery's got you picking up wins away from home now. Like I said, if you fix that January transfer window and bring some smart signings in, I don't see why you can't do the treble, Bill.
Yeah. Let's hope so.
Uni, you said no, right?
Yeah, because we got to see how well they do business-wise in January. If they have a good January, then listen, by all means, anything can happen. But again, you already know, you lot know, like come March, it's a different kettle of fish. It's a different kind of beast. But you see, one thing that would make me feel like, you know, they could possibly do that is down to their manager, because I rate Unai Emery very, very highly. I think he's an exceptional manager, and I've seen him overachieve at clubs on more than one occasion. So it wouldn't be overly surprising, but I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough ask. It's a tough ask to be within 6 points of the Premier League for Aston Villa. Might be a huge jump, but then this is the Prem, innit? Like we've seen stranger things happen before, and certainly with that manager, you get me. Like anything can happen, but I don't know. I think that's a big ask. But if you're asking me, do I think they'll get top 4? I think that's a very strong possibility. They could, yeah, 100%.
Goonie was dying to bring up that Europa League final a minute ago when he was talking about overachieving.
I think. Go on, Roms.
I'll just quickly with Villa. My thing with Villa is, if football didn't have something called injuries, and I think Billy would agree, they've actually got quite, not just a big squad, a squad with quality, because Villa's strongest 11, that leaves Duran, I think the Ecuadorian striker, I think is quality, that leaves Duran on the bench, Tielemans on the bench. I think Bailey doesn't make your starting 11, and I rate Bailey. You've got Diego Carlos Conzi, Mings, you've got a lot of players out, and I think
Jacob Ramsey as well just come back.
Jacob, exactly, and people aren't realizing Villa without injuries have a massive squad with quality. But I just feel football's not played out. We all get injuries because you have injuries, and Conference League. I rate Emery, echoing Goonies for I rate Emery highly, and I just think bringing that trophy back, or not even just that it's European, because that's his forte. He loves the European trophy, but not just that it's a European trophy. Just think a trophy in general, because I think you got to the Carabao a couple of years ago, didn't you, Billy, against City. And just fell short. So I think as a fan base, you'd like a trophy, because I think you get top 4. That's one thing I'm actually going to say. You can clip this, you can do whatever. I'll say that earlier. I do think Villa get top 4. a title race, I think it'll be they're biting off a bit more than they can chew. I agree with Billy. I feel like you should dream, because what's football without dreaming and actually having faith? But I just think that's a bit too much. I think top 4 and a Conference League, I think Villa fans should be doing cartwheels, and that's actually what I think they will achieve. But title race, even now, yes, even if they go into Christmas first place, I still think it's a bit too early. Bit too early, man.
Yeah. What I will say, Rums, to be honest with you, I think when you look at teams like Spurs and Newcastle, they've been completely decimated with injuries. I think we've been really, really lucky, to be honest with you, because we've, aside from Mings opening day of the season, ACL, Buendia 2 or 3 days before the opening day of the season, an ACL, virtually season enders. And then we had Moreno and Ramsey out as well. They've, like I say, they've just come back. But our spine from Watkins, Douglas Luiz and Kamara, John McGinn as well in there, Konza and Pau Torres, who have been our centre-back partnership for the most of the season, and Emi Martinez, our spine has stayed injury-free. And you can go back to last season as well, when we went on the run to get ourselves into Europe. We went on that run without picking up any injuries. So, I mean, I tweeted out earlier, and I've been getting a bit of stick from Villa fans, actually, for some reason. I don't think it's a crazy thing to say that we've been quite lucky with injuries. So, and when we do get injuries, I've mentioned there, Tielemans and Pau Torres have just picked up injuries, but it's only a couple of weeks. It's not a Sven Botman injury that's out for 3-4 months. It's not they're not big deals, and that we can get by for a couple of weeks. Lenglet's coming in tonight. Emery confirmed in his press conference yesterday that Longley is going to come in for Pau Torres tonight.
You had him.
Yeah, I know we've got a really good quality squad. So yeah,
you're literally short, Bill, in say 3 positions, right? Goalkeeper if Martinez gets an injury, right back because Matty Cash is there, and obviously Konza's had to play there, and striker. Is there any other positions?
Not really. We're strong all over the pitch aside from those 3.
Would you even say
Duran? I mean, Duran's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Duran's good, but he's just so young and so raw.
He's raw. We
need a prop. If Watkins was to go out injured for 5 months, for example, God forbid that was to happen, then we need someone that we can rely on to keep us pushing for top 4 and in the Conference League, if you know what I mean. And at the minute, as much as I love Duran, I don't know whether we could rely on him to score those goals and to do the job Watkins is doing.
I know he's been injured, but maybe you can try and tap up Tammy Abraham to come back again, man, because he was good for you. Do you remember?
He was, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. He's injured at the minute, isn't he? I think he's got an ACL.
Yeah, he's had a real bad one as well. But I rate him, man. I think he's quite underrated as a player.
I think he's a decent player, but I wasn't, as mad as it sounds, I wasn't his biggest fan at Villa. I thought he missed a lot of chances.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and when we got promoted, the majority of the Villa fan base was really hopeful that we'd sign him on a permanent. Obviously, Chelsea had their transfer embargo at the time, and therefore they didn't want to sell him and put ridiculous markup on him. So we didn't in the end. But yeah, for me, in my opinion at least, he misses too many chances that he probably should have taken. Maybe with a bit more coaching that could improve. I'm not too sure. But yeah, he's a decent enough player, and I think for backup to Watkins, he could certainly do a job. I just don't know whether he would want to come into a Villa side where he knows immediately he's going to be playing understudy to Ollie Watkins.
And that's the problem.
When he sees himself as he's going to see himself as an England international striker as well as soon as he comes back. And like you say, Dan, that's the problem we've got going in for a striker now. They know that they're going to be playing. Yeah, but I think goalkeepers are a little bit different because you can get a goalkeeper like a Robin Olsen or even a Jack Butland or someone like that who they're not going to be happy to play understudy, but they understand their role, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And with the amount of games that we've got with the Conference League and things like that, FA Cup, they will be getting their fair share of games at times, you know. So yeah, the striker one's the main one.
You might want. We got a goalkeeping situation, you know. Nah, listen. I think you're right. I think with a right back, a goalkeeper, and a centre forward, there ain't many positions I look at Villa and think, but because if they've got an injury at left back, you've got 2 good left backs. You've got a brilliant midfield. You've got good wingers. Bro, if Emery wins this league, I tell you, they should sack Pep, Klopp, and Arteta. It's crazy. Like, it's absolutely mad what he could do, man. It's scary. But no, big up, man. And I liked Unai Emery. He did have to go because of the situation. But actually, if he was in a position where perhaps Arteta was with a better people above him and more of a stability, who knows what Unai Emery could have done at Arsenal with, £700 million and 8 transfer windows that Arteta's had. Do you know what I'm saying? So when you look at it like that, maybe Arsenal could have won something quicker. There's a serious question mark. But when you say that, it's like really out of order on Arteta. But Tony Adams said it, and he's Mr. Arsenal. He said we got it the wrong way around. It should have been Arteta first and then Unai Emery to come in. And who knows? If at the moment Unai Emery's doing a very, very good job. And fair play to him, man.
I'm pretty sure Saliba and Martinelli were Emery signings, weren't they?
They were, mate. And Saka and Smith Rowe come through under Emery, not Arteta. So, people give
foundations were there, really.
Yeah. Emery was Martinelli, Kieran Tierney, and Saliba. And Kieran Tierney I still rate, by the way. Obviously, he's out on loan at the moment. Were all Emery signings. And, I look at what Emery was doing. He had a ridiculous people ahead of him. He wanted Zaha at the time, who was killing it. We got to give him Pepe because Raul Sanllehi wanted him. Yeah. Kia Drapscan at the time was in bed with Raul Sanllehi pretty much, right? So he was getting all the signings that he wanted. Emery wanted Upamecano. To be fair, probably wouldn't have worked out a great signing now, but at the time he was killing it. And we got David Luiz. Yeah. We wanted Thomas Partey, who at the time that was signed then by Arteta. We got Dani Ceballos on loan back. It's like, come on, man. This was never going to work with Emery. And to be fair, I think he's the 3rd best manager in the league behind Pep and Klopp. I think that's fair. I don't think there's any questioning about that. I think you've got the Eddie Howe's and players, managers like that. But Emery, for me, when you look at his CV, he's got bloody 4 or 5 Europa Leagues, ain't he? Like, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. So what he's doing at Villa is scary, man. And we'll see what happens. Let's move. Goonie. I was listening to Saeed's channel a couple of weeks ago, and you just went in on one, man, and it was beautiful to listen to because there ain't many fans like you. I speak to many Chelsea fans that are like, "Oh, it's all right. What do you expect? We've just bought a load of kids, and we got to let them settle, and blah blah blah." Mate, it's a shambles what's going on at Chelsea, and there's only a few people that want to say it how it is. You've got Wolves, which is quite fitting for Dan to be on with you as well. But before we go into that game, where are you at with Chelsea right now, bruv?
My position still hasn't changed from all those rants that you heard on Saeed's show and other platforms that I've been on. I don't trust this squad. I don't think this squad is good enough. This thing about, they're young, trust the process and all this kind of stuff, I don't buy it, not for a single second. I come from a time where young players, it doesn't matter about your age. If you're good enough, you're old enough. Yeah, I think I've been on here before and I've said things like, look, Wayne Rooney, like how long did it take for him to hit the ground running in the Prem? Yeah, you've got all kinds of examples. Michael Owen and Ian Robben come to the Premier League. These men hit the ground running. Yeah, my issue is not the age of the players. It's the ability of the players. Yeah, because Chelsea are trying to tell us they're trying to sign the best of the best, the elite of the elite in terms of age group. Well, what happened to Jude Bellingham? What's going on with Kylian Mbappe? Bring back Musiala. Now, when you're talking about players of that caliber, then I can well buy into the fact that you're looking to sign the elite and the best of the best. And those on top of that can come in and perform now. Yeah, these group of players that we've got right now, I don't rate a whole bunch of them. I don't really rate any of them, if I'm being completely honest with you. And I don't really see this ending too well. I don't see this ending well. There's already players that we signed in the summer that are being touted to leave this January or next summer. What does that tell you? It tells you that the project is a failure already. And it also tells you that the people that are here to do the recruitment for Chelsea Football Club, they're failures. The fact that they're even being able to oversee this January is an absolute disgrace. It makes me sick to my stomach. They should have been gone long time ago. Paul Winstanley and the other waste man need to get out of the club. It's very simple.
Yeah, listen, I feel your pain because I always have been about raising standards and keeping the standards high. And I think with Chelsea being spoilt in the last 20 years by win now, win now, win now, I always said that your fan base were going to have to be patient, and I didn't believe that they were going to be able to be. When you go down a route like that and you have all these young players that are unproven, because that's the thing, they're not young proven players, they're young unproven players that are now being put in together. Pochettino has been disappointing in my opinion, and I can't sit there and have any football fan reel off these names of players there he has his evidence of being great at improving at a young age. I can give you Harry Kane, and you can talk about Dele Alli, although he's been a disaster in the last couple of years. But other than that, how many do you reel off the tongue that Pochettino has proven to be a huge part of their 20-year-old players' football career? I don't think there's that many. So I'm not putting it all on him. But when Pochettino has gone from a 12th place Tottenham 12th place Chelsea that sacked Potter to put them in the similar position after spending more and more money is poor. And I do rate some of your players. I think Cole Palmer's been a good signing. I think Sterling can bang when he's on form. I like what your midfield could look like with Lavia, Caicedo and Enzo when it does get to that. But I do think there's a lot of problems, bro. And I don't really see it getting any better anytime soon because Todd Bowley has been quite reckless. And I think the whole board and ownership has been quite reckless. And I think with Chelsea, everyone started to say what would be a good season, realistic expectations. There's many that said spend £1 billion, you've got to win a title. I was never one of those. I said, look, if Chelsea can get Champions League football, it's an absolute must after spending that much money. I don't think Chelsea are going to get Champions League football. I really don't.
Definitely not. We're not even getting Europa football. We're not getting conference either. This is where it's at. Do you know, for me, yeah? Like, and this is how bad it's gotten. I'll be surprised if we finished in the top 10. Big man thing, I'll be surprised if we finished in the top 10. That has got to be the target for the end of the season. No, I'm being honest. There's only a handful of players I would keep. Badiashile, Caicedo, Lavia, I've not even seen play yet, but I've got a lot of faith in that boy's ability. Who else would I keep in this team? Cole Palmer, that's 4. The rest of them, I could, Malo Gusto as well, that's 5. The rest of them, yes, Enzo being included, I couldn't care less if they came or stayed, if they stayed or went. I could not care less.
This brings me on to my point, bro, because you've just named 3. I was going to say, on this new regime, you've just named 3 players that I was going to name. Other than Cole Palmer, Badiashile, and Malo Gusto, have any, let's say Nkunku as well. But we've not seen much of him, but I rate Nkunku. Other than them 4 players, would you say they're the only 4 that have done well under this regime, that have been a somewhat success? I'm not saying you've signed other players that could potentially be successful at Chelsea, but since this new regime's coming, this is 18 months since they've been in, or coming up to 2 years since they would have been here. To say only 4 players that have been a success up until this point, like I said, reiterate, not saying the others can't become good, but 4 have only done well. That's a big concern for me, honestly. And one is that we're just being optimistic. One, we've hardly seen a few games here and there pre-season. But the other, I rate Badiashile highly. I rate Gusto and Cole Palmer. But to say 4 out of about 15 plus that you sign, that's a bit worrying. That's very worrying.
Rom, if Darwin Núñez was a football team, it would be Chelsea.
Facts.
Yeah. Big money. Chaos, but there's still good. There's still a bit of good there. That could achieve something. But for me, the biggest point, I'm tempted by it because he always has a good game against Wolves. The fact that Conor Gallagher's captain at the moment shows how far Chelsea have fallen.
They wanted to sell him in the
summer. I want to sell him. No, there's no way. I want him out. Get him out. Get him out. Listen, the biggest concern, just to answer your question, Roms, the biggest concern for me isn't necessarily those players. The biggest concern for me is the fact that you've got a recruitment team that actually believes signing a bunch of under 25-year-olds and gutting out a squad that's actually won some stuff is going to all go on and go in the same trajectory and then build into this team that's going to be challenging on all fronts when you've never seen this happen in the history of football. Does not happen. Doesn't happen. So this is my issue. And Dan, you're right, bro. You're right. We're basically Darwin Núñez. If there's any player that we are, it's Darwin Núñez, bruv.
As soon as that comment came out that flipping Bowley was having conversations with James Corden, you know it's going tits up.
Did you not see this last week as well? Right, cool. I wouldn't take it gospel from Lampard, by the way. But Harry Redknapp got interviewed and he said, He's like, what did Lampard say about his reign at Chelsea? He said a lot of things, but one thing that stood out to me is Mykhailo Mudryk. Like, he couldn't understand the basics in training. Now, again, Lampard wasn't the greatest manager as well, so there's a bit of, you have to kind of take the pros and cons of this, but it's kind of transpired on the pitch. What Lampard might actually be right about something for once. He said there's basic things I'm trying to explain to him. Maybe there might be a language barrier, but just even the basics, he didn't grasp quickly. And we're seeing on the pitch now. Yes, he scored a goal, albeit it was a terrible mistake from Trippier, but you still have to put the ball in the back of net. But other than that, at the amount of time to see Mudryk in great position, his decision making just kind of lets him down. It's crazy. And I was like, you know what? Lampard might be right about something because we're seeing it. We're actually seeing it.
Man, I don't know what to say anymore about Chelsea. All I know, right, is it's funny. And I love you, Goonie. You know I do, and it's all love. But I can't stand a lot of your fan base. I can't stand how they talk and how cocky they've been and how much abuse they've given to me in 20 years. So I love to see it. Really? But as a Chelsea fan, I'll be wanting them all gone.
Dan, just to add on one point, I agree, you'll probably agree with this. You know what will happen this season, though? Not will, actually. What most likely will happen, Liverpool Chelsea meet in another cup final. It will be a draw and it goes to penalties. That's something that probably could happen again.
That's definitely happening. Like, Chelsea will beat Middlesbrough and Liverpool will beat Fulham, and it will be a final in the Carabao Cup yet again. And I expect it will probably be one of those draw games. Yeah, whenever you play each other,
it will keep Pochettino in the job. And that's what I'm scared of. It's going to keep him in the job.
Imagine if he wins it. The Chelsea fans that are watching, listen, they'll hold on to that. Look, he's won the trophy first year. This, that, and the other couldn't do it. It's crazy how fans can work.
My fan base has disappointed me this season so badly. You should hear how they talk about Nicholas Jackson. Well, he's got 8 goals in the Premier League, so he's not really that bad. Shut up. Shut up, bruv. I get upset. This guy is the most shameless Premier League striker I have ever seen in my life. You net a hat-trick against 9-man Spurs, and then you have your fan base saying, you see, this is the level that we need at Chelsea. Yeah, he scores a goal that he barely even knew about the other week against Sheffield Wednesday. You see, he's on 8 goals. Who scored more goals than him? All of this kind of talk, I will not be fooled. I won't be fooled. Conor Gallagher is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. My fan base is cooked, bruv. Absolutely smoking, sizzling, cooked.
But he works hard. So he's excellent.
What I'm trying to say. He runs around like a dog, bruv, and he wins his challenges up the pitch. Fair enough. Listen, there's value to what he does. But the real question is, and this is why I get so annoyed, if you have any kind of level or ambition about your club, are these players the ones that are going to take you to title challenges, Champions League challenges, FA Cup wins, and so on and so forth on a consistent basis? Yeah. Can you look at me with a straight face and tell me this? If the answer is no, why are they at Chelsea Football Club? You can't make me lower my standards, you know. I remember where I came from. I remember exactly where I came from. I remember watching Michael Ballack. I remember watching Essien. I remember watching Lampard. I remember watching Drogba, Diego Costa, Ian Robben. The list goes on. Peter Cech. And now we've got Sanchez in goal. Oh, he's not that bad. He's made a couple good saves. Listen, I'm not trying to hear none of that. Nothing.
Goonie, do you know the notion I hate? We all probably get in every club gets it. You know, there's that one player where ability-wise they're not good, but because they work hard. And this is where I want to big up Roy. I hate United, but this is where I want to big up Roy Keane. Remember his infamous saying when he's like, I mean, that's your job, because someone said, well, they work hard. And it's like, that's your job. And it's so true. That is the basics. I don't understand fan bases that put their players on a high pedestal, even if they know their ability is not good, but they work hard. It's like, that's the bit. Every player, that's the base. That's the first thing you should be doing, whatever position you are on the field. It's annoying. I completely agree with you, Goonie. This Gallagher discourse this season, yes, he has done well. I'm not going to say he's done poor, but I think if Chelsea want to go forward and go to the next level, I see him on the ball, right? And I see that again, him and Mudryk, 2 peas in a pod. They get in great position. And they just have brain farts. It's crazy. It's crazy. But the fact you wanted to sell him and you make him your captain, that was the mad thing for me. You wanted to ship him and now you make him captain. I just think upstairs don't know what they're doing, man. They honestly don't.
Yeah, it is reckless, man. Like, first of all, big up Roy Keane, who I think is the best pundit by far. He just says how it is. Big people say how it is, man. There's not enough of them. But when I look at Chelsea, I don't see leaders on the pitch, which is why you've got Reece James and Conor Gallagher wearing an armband. I don't see the direction and where you're going. I don't look at the plan and think, yeah, that scares me. And when you look at how much money has been spent on that team, it's like, whoa, that's scary. But my last question on this before I move to Wolves and Chelsea, Ratgoony, is how do you actually fix this, bruv? Because they ain't going anywhere. The players don't seem to be going anywhere in Todd's mind. Like, it's worrying, bruv, for you guys.
I'm going to convert that question to Goonie. What would you do if you took over Chelsea? Because this is how much needs to be done. If I had unlimited funds and I bought Chelsea Football Club right now, recruitment team getting sacked, all gone. Pochettino is going to be on his last legs. Yeah, because I know I can't sack him now because of the lack of availability of top level managers at the minute. Yeah, so I'm going to keep him there for a second. But the second the real winner gets available, I'm throwing the bank at him straight away. The next thing that I'm doing, I'm going into that changing room. I'm saying, listen, yeah, the season's already done out. Not going to lie. And basically, by the end of this season, or by the beginning of next season, 95% of you will not be wearing a Chelsea shirt. I don't care what I've got to do to get you out of the club. I don't care. You are leaving. I am getting rid of the majority of this squad. I don't care if I have to take L's. I'm getting rid of the majority of these players, except the 6 players that I mentioned that I feel are good enough to contribute to some kind of success towards Chelsea. The rest of them, I couldn't care less. Get out of the club. It's not your fault. The recruitment team decided to buy you guys, but you have to go. I'm sorry. I would be starting clear-outs right now. From January, summer, next January, next summer, the following January, the following summer, however long it takes, I would be getting the majority of these guys out of Chelsea Football Club because they are not good enough, nor will they ever be good enough. And then I'll be looking to replace them with proper players, yeah, elite players that they promised us, but actual elite players that have been there and done it with some kind of experience. And remember, age doesn't always equal lack of experience when it comes to young players. Once again, Trent Alexander-Arnold, how many games has he played and how old is he? Yeah, Mbappe, how old is he and how many games has he played at the top level? Chouameni and all these guys. You see what I mean? So you can buy young players with quality that are ready to hit the ground running. And that's what I'd be looking to do.
Man, that's facts, man. And
That's
listen, I think there's a lot of Chelsea fans that want you in charge ahead of Todd Bowley after that speech, bro. I'll tell you that now. Let's be real. Let's be real. Dan, you're going into this game against Chelsea with a little bit of confidence, or are you going into this game not having a clue what Wolves are going to do? Where are you at, bro? Where are you at with Wolves right now? Apart from being on mute.
Exactly that. Not really got a lot to say about Wolves at the moment. We're so frustrating. Hopefully we'll get a result tomorrow because Christmas Eve. Because Chelsea won't sit back like the likes of Forest, Burnley, and to a degree, West Ham sat back on us on Sunday without having to make much effort because they knew they could sit back and just counter on us. Unless we're able to counter attack, we're fucking useless. It still feels like we're playing under Nuno, where we've got players who are happy to play sideways passes for the majority of the game and hope one of your forward players does something on their own. It's frustrating, but like I said, Chelsea aren't going to sit back. They've got really good attacking players. Like we've already mentioned, Cole Palmer. Sterling's still a handful when he wants to be. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game on Christmas Eve. But like I said, I think the fact that Chelsea won't sit back might play into our hands a bit better. Hopefully, Pedro Neto should be back on Christmas Eve. They reckon he should be at least on the bench. So that's a big positive.
Do you think, Dan, when people say Wolves are safe under Gary O'Neill this season, do you think that is fair and confident to say that? Because I always looked at Wolves and Bournemouth at the start before a ball was kicked as ones that I worried about. And I do think the 3 that went up are probably going to be 3 that go down, right? I'm not going to change my mind on that. I think Gary O'Neill's done a good job. And I also think that you've been really harshly treated by VAR by at least 4 games, maybe even 5. And you can look at those points now and go, wow, we really needed those. But do you actually feel confident that you will stay up this season and there won't be a problem of you being in a relegation fight?
I never feel confident, but trying to be logical, the teams that you've mentioned who are likely to go down, I don't see us being worse than those. Even if we sort of we have hit a bad bit of form. We haven't won away for 3 or 4 games now, but we were unbeaten in the last 6 or 7 at home. So I still think our home form will just be enough to get us over the line. But I think we're 10 points off the relegation zone now. But it's like you said, those 3 teams at the bottom, they're so poor. Luton have been unlucky with their games against Arsenal and Man City at the Kenny, but I just don't see those 3 teams at the bottom having enough attacking prowess to get points where they'll need to.
Yeah, fair play, man. Listen, I actually quite like Gary O'Neill, and I didn't mind him when he was at Bournemouth because I thought he did really well. When you appointed him, I did think it was a weird one, but I've been really impressed by him. And then I saw him on Monday Night Football, and I just think he's a proper football man, and he come across really well. I was quite impressed by what I saw, and I thought, yeah, Wolves are in the right place with him. It's just about how they back him now. I also think you need to try and keep Pedro Neto fit, man. I mean, he's my favourite player for Wolves. I think he's an absolute baller. I'd take him at Arsenal tomorrow. But this guy can't stay fit, man. He's like made of glass, Dan, isn't he?
Yeah, it wouldn't be at Wolves now if he wasn't injured.
Yeah,
Right?
I was just about to say that.
He probably would have been at Arsenal 3 or 4 transfer windows ago. He's he's a special talent. Obviously, he's got the winner against Chelsea a few years ago, so hopefully he can have an impact on Christmas Eve. I think Gary O'Neill's finally got to the point now where he's realised the strength in depth's really poor. I think January will be a big window for him. The last 2 or 3 games we've needed an attacking option off the bench. He's had Sasa Kalajdzic and Fabio Silva as options, and he's refused to bring them on. So I think he's lost faith in both of those strikers. I think a number 9 will be top of the list in January, but bringing a number 9 in January is a really difficult thing, isn't it?
Yeah, man, it really is, man. Before we come into the predictions for that game, make sure you do us a favour, people. Smash a like on this one. Haven't even hit 100 yet, and there's 250 of you, man, in it. So come on, man. Smash the like button. Make sure you get up to 100 and come follow all these people, man. Go follow AV Billy at Total Screamers Podcast. Go follow Roms on his Twitter handle there. Likewise, Dan, and go follow Man Knows Football as well, people. Let's get some predictions into this one. Goody, what are you telling me about this game? Wolves, Chelsea.
We're at the Molyneux, innit?
Yeah, man.
I'm going to say 2-1 Wolves, mate.
Oh, wow.
I got no faith in this team, you know. None.
Lil Dan, what are you saying?
The GC for this guy is such a tough place for him to visit at the moment with the Arsenal fans that we've got in our group. I do genuinely feel sorry for Goonie, but he's got no faith in the team, and I understand why. And I think at Molly, I'm hoping we'll get a decent result. But if I'm going to bet with my head, I'd probably go with 1-1.
Roms?
I'm going to go same with Goonie, 2-1 Wolves. I just feel like when you match Chelsea with Everton, when you match Chelsea with energy, and I think Dan will agree, Wolves, they found it hard to finish all season, to be fair, but João Gomez, Lamina, Bellegarde, they're very industrious. I feel like if they get in your face, whether it's a set piece or whatnot, I think Wolves will have enough to get over the line. It could be scrappy goals, but yeah, I can see a 2-1 Wolves.
Okay, Billy, you go next, actually.
I agree with Roms and Goonie, to be honest with you. I think Wolves are going to win. Just to be a little bit different, I'll say 1-0.
I think Chelsea are going to win this. I just think Chelsea are going to win it. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. I just fancy Chelsea. I think they've got to pick up their form at some stage, and I don't look at Wolves and think there'll be a goal fest there. I think this could be 1-0 to Chelsea. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go.
I said Liverpool 2-1. Look at this guy. It's just backlash. This is.
Mate, Cooney said 2-0 as well. To be fair, I don't know, man. I just feel like Chelsea is. They've got some talent.
They've got the capability to win 2 or 3-0 on Christmas Eve. But I think with our home form, I think, like I said, we're unbeaten 6 or 7 at home now. There is a narrative that we don't score goals, but apart from last week, we scored 15 consecutive league games before that. So that's why I've gone 2-1.
Oh, fair. My bad. I didn't know that. I actually didn't know that.
It's been going 2-3 years, Ron. Like the last season. Last season we were the lowest scores in the league. The season before, I think we scored something like 31 league goals across the season.
Do you know what it is, Dan? I see you getting in such great positions often, even against us. You should have been 2-0
all
up
about
against
the
us.
foreplay, Roms. All about the foreplay.
Yeah, literally that.
Kissing
You
and
get in
cuddling, that's
such good
Wolves.
positions, and then you just never fit in the back of net. But you know what? Chelsea are the same. That's why I think this game's very fascinating. Two teams that don't really score a mad amount of goals. You know what I mean? So.
Do you know what's mad? I watched that game around my dad's and I saw the ball come across the Cunha and I was like, go on, 2-0. And I've never seen a header like it.
I didn't like it, exactly.
I just thought, what is this guy doing? Like, he chested the thing. Sorry, Billy.
No, I can see this game just being a scrap fest. You know, I think that the goal will come around the 70th minute, scrappy header or something from a corner maybe, and then Wolves will just be able to hang on and come away with the 3 points. That's how I see the game, at least.
Interesting, man.
All my friends, sorry to jump in. All my friends know me. I love a no-lose situation. I love a no-lose situation. So this weekend, I've actually got Cole Palmer as my captain in fantasy football. Because whenever I bet on anything to come good, it usually goes wrong. So I'm jinxing Cole Palmer hopefully this weekend.
Man, I'm having a nightmare on fantasy, man. This year, I can't lie. Like literally, I'm normally a proper Arsenal on FP. I'm always top 4. That's always what I am. I'm always top 4, right? But I can never ever get to a stage where I'm in a title race on that league. I tell you that now. It's crazy, but yeah, man. Listen, it's going to be a big weekend. Big up to all of you for coming on. Big up to everybody in the chat. Make sure you do us a favor, like and subscribe. We're really getting close to 13k now, people. So make sure. I think we're only about 150 away or something. So please make us get there quickly. All you got to do is hit like, hit subscribe. It's totally free and it takes 2 seconds. Make sure you go follow Total Screamers Podcast and follow AV Billy on Twitter and Insta. Make sure you do the same to Roms. His Twitter handle is there. Make sure you go up to Little Dan, show some love to the Wolves Fancast as well. And of course, follow Goonie on Man Knows Football. Big up to all of you for coming on. We'll see you next time. And to everybody who I will not see, happy Christmas and a brilliant new year. Big up, people. Take it easy. We're out of here. Love. Peace.